Hey guys, welcome to Two Average Dudes. I'm Dave. Mike will chime in a second. So Unifor, that's basically the old CAW. They're the ones that are dealing with the GM closure. And OPSU, another union, have joined forces to deal with Doug Ford's destructive agenda. I don't see his destructive agenda. What I see is two unions getting together to blame somebody for GM leaving because they can't do anything. And let's be honest, GM has said the deal is done. The ship has sailed. So maybe the union should be focusing more on taking on GM, on saying, hey, you know what? Listen, don't leave. We'll work out a deal. We'll take a pay cut or we'll, do whatever it takes to get this done. But again, the union is saying, oh, it's the government's fault because they're not dumping money into it and they're not saving us. Save yourself. If you're on a sinking ship, you don't yell to somebody saying in the middle of the ocean going, hey, save me. No, you swim. You do whatever it takes, right? And the problem is, the fight isn't with Ford. The fight is with General Motors. They're the ones packing up. It's time people realize that. So I'm not really sure how the two unions getting together will help out fighting Ford and his destructive ways. Like, I don't see them destructive at all. I see them actually good for Ontario. And maybe people need to realize that because I think he's doing a good job so far. And I think he is very limited on what he can do with General Motors. Like, you can't expect somebody to have a business and do what they're told when it's their business. And as for General Motors, they want to leave. So how, and they've made that very clear to both federal and provincial governments. So how is this going to change? The only way it's going to change is if the union goes after General Motors and says, hey, listen, don't leave. That's all that can be done. If they're telling the government, we're out of here, well, what is the government going to do? And I think it's irresponsible, and this is where it gets me. I think it's irresponsible for any government to throw money at General Motors at this time to make them stay. Like, that is just some kind of weird bribery or something. So, the two unions, I think you're both fools. You can band together and say whatever you want. I think Ford's doing a good job on this, and I think he should stand tough and say, no, you know what, after what you said, what you've done, you fight it out with General Motors because we're not giving any more money. Mike, I know this is a repetitive topic, but it keeps getting worse and worse. What do you think?
Dave, you're totally right there. GM's looking at leaving, and we're talking about 2,500 jobs being lost. Okay, there'll be spin-off jobs, but right now we're talking about 2,500 workers at GM. Well, if the GM plant closes, what we're forgetting is, the government and everybody's boasting that we created 200,000 jobs over the last year. So we're creating jobs, so there will be employment for these people, and GM's going to have to pay them out. They have a contract through 2020. So these guys will get handsome severance packages. So they'll have 1 to 2 years pay in order to look for another job and find another job, and there are jobs out there. The government and the union should stop fighting, and they should work and find a way to worry about retraining these people or find these people new jobs. Okay, the government can't stop GM from leaving. Well, they can, and it's going to cost us billions of dollars to give them billions of dollars to stay. So we got to stop worrying about that. They made the decision to go. Let's let them go. These unions, the employees, and the government have to worry about now getting them retrained and getting them into future jobs. There's plenty of time to do it. Like I said, they're going to get 1 to 2 years severance, so they're not going to be hurting for a couple years. So stop bickering back and forth. Stop blaming the government for this because it's not the government's fault, and let's worry about getting these guys retrained for the future. It's disgusting at the media and we're wasting our time, with a bickering fight between these unions and Doug Ford and the government and all this, when it's got nothing to do with the government. It's got to do with a private company called General Motors. So guys, let's worry about yelling at General Motors, not anybody else. Anyways, guys, post a few comments below, give us a thumbs up, let us know what you think, and give us some more topics you want us to talk about. Anyways, guys, have a good one.